I think the Real Madrid issue now has got to do with a coach who doesn't have balls. He was a fantastic player, legend of the game, but getting opportunity to coach a big club like Real Madrid, he abandoned any philosophy. He abandoned how disciplined a coach is supposed to be. And I think this is the biggest opportunity Obenya in his life. So I'm making any good use of it. Perhaps you join Leverkusen, money is once more class. Clear. The reason why he was winning at the start of the season was the fact that now Jude Bellingham knew. Right, I say I was Sports Arena, so yeah, the Agude Munsem bro, Agude Munsem the Rem Strady. Call the Champions League, Nyasem Ketu Accra. Champions League week. And call and I say Champions League week muna wana. Monday and I say Tuesday and Wednesday games now. The biggest of all. Man City or Pimo Ewo. Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid. Now Real Madrid situation, dire. Me to my catch us. It will be to my toe. Seban say results now. Cosenia Madrid faithfuls pena esan se Tavigo ekoche basabo anaso koche Real Madrid bono 2-0 enti was so winning home. Jabi Alonso pressure won so yenya ntia se Kylian Mbappe routine sa injury hye no ho ene wanye training ti omeye no late fitness test and sana so passing kwa dia abrante ye frɛ no Kamavinga so no ne to atwi wo ho no ma ti so say Real Madrid team no players ni bi wo no ma injuries den disturb you so ye be room na ya hwɛ de ebekɔ Man City so no yes how are they going to line up Kwame Zombefa so approach game no we've seen in the past Real Madrid any Man City games na crack up ye be hwɛ games na wodo ni so bi be kokɔ so na say Chelsea ne ebekɔ no na Atlanta bo honom Tottenham was so Bofie on Slava Prague money at the but generally important games are the biggest game of all Real Madrid I would say Manchester City abo you be rasa game ni mo be show no live call YouTuber YouTube na Sports Arena GHTV Sports Arena GHTV Sports Arena GHTV afi uba your Telegram account one man for go rough na bet would he twa wo na ye di na nyasam keto na bet no be di so dia my bet ho na wo so twa na wo di wo mu o maka che o se wo pese bom bet na wo twa no wo pese bet na e bom se be bom dia ene my bet na wo se wo bom ho because ho na wo bom a wo sa be kan wo sika yongofo bi ho no ma wo betima delete account ntumi form ko ba bia izan se o office screen ya my bet office wo Ghana azia bibia eden ekoyo wo na maso yase a ye de show ne bro yen rem quickly a Champions League game between Real Madrid and Manchester City.
Yeah, at least to say a game num there with Real Madrid and Manchester City. Obi him said this fixture in the past 3 seasons, in every way be about Champions League phase, be about quarterfinals, be the semi-finals, be. And in their last 7 meetings, Real Madrid they lose just once. That shows the performance of Real Madrid team not done it from the last 7 meetings on my board against a team in Manchester City. Pep Guardiola said Otimi Lusu game where that will be his worst record against any club in Europe. In four consecutive games, Otimi Lusu now. So going into this game, statistics ni bibia ebaki team a friend Real Madrid. But you can't form a same dia you team Real Madrid team because Daniel Betinaka said this season away Nyaman Koyi, but at home they one team at this season no Lusu game at home. The last time Paul Lusu against a team in Celta de Vigo was in the 80s. And they with me pick a defeat against Celta de Vigo. Manchester Cityaba face a wounded Real Madrid. But one thing as will be come and bed with Africa made me tune for said this particular fixture no and the goes back.
Okay.
Inti say oh shebi Real Madrid be winning Man City be winning form guide ne e back Real Madrid but oh form guide ne back Manchester City but history back Real Madrid are goals. Any options are say with me for this game. And we are going to see over 2.5 over 3.5 happening in this fixture because Real Madrid in Sababy or they need to score goals. And against this Manchester City team, they are one team they are high scoring team. Kwame Biaso no beba be goal. Inti either say also Sheno na afi de onya no so ahye goals ni ko n'anim en nebe boa into we am bet Africa over 2.5 over 3.5 na the like less optional betimi akofo. Going into the game, Real Madrid this season, their first half games are very slow. In the first half, who say Manchester City did count to Atenema because Manchester City, on the other hand, no, share a lot of goals in their first half games. Real Madrid are finding it difficult to score in first half games. Most of their games are winning this season in the La Liga and the Champions League. Majority of the goals they buy in the second half. In the second half, over 0.5 into your optional. Ubetimia corners and Ubetimia ball a game wimpa. Real Madrid ball corners. Manchester City in their last 2 games, adapted to that corner strategy. They are scoring a lot of goals from corners. Into going into this game, margins Ubetimia pair a lot of corners. But I'm seeing Manchester City winning the game. Pep Guardiola Emma record Mbetna. And you go all out against this Real Madrid team. Defensively, they are not that balanced. Dean Hoyes in Iniho, Militao picking injury. They will go with a pairing of Rudiger and Asensio, which last season will be how easy to go by them. They are all aggressive defenders. In TNA, Bakuba and Adrians Obedi Ellen Haaland, that will give the likes of Doku any Foden to get up front on Benya goal. So I'm looking at this game ending in a Manchester City 3-1 or a 4-2 for Manchester City. It was a particular game. Yeah, other games because so that is Arsenal any club Brugge. This season, Arsenal team be Champions League nunca ye bono group phase ni pedia anka obi eni ho betimi ne ho atoto no. They've played 5 games, washe 14 goals, or conceded just 1 goal, and that 1 goal came against a full attacking team in Bayern Munich. Apart from Bayern Munich, Arsenal ain't mean concede any goal. Yeah, that shows dominance at Teta Branty and Edanidi. But in November, Ebano. So Arsenal games now, they've been conceding a lot. They've been conceding, especially on the road. Omuko Chelsea, Omuko concede, Sunderland, Omuko concede. So it has been something. Even Aston Villa recent game, Omuko concede. So now away games, no, you come back Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. Upe team in the Champions League, on you be but a ban in the home game, or the big boys in struggle, a team a friend club Brugge. And in Arsenal game way, if they are not even going to win, they will get a go against Arsenal. And that is one thing as will be a share air core into this game and make a chance on back. They are one of the team anytime they play at home, their shot percentage in games show 99 shot and on my ball in this Champions League face. That shows when they come into Champions League games, on your ball, no more ball shot on target, or more ball shot. And against an Arsenal team, they've been able to limit teams to shot on targets. It will show any Teta and Branty and defensively with Hanikapi, any ABR. Timber and a bebo as the center pairing because any who's a Mosquera, any Gabriel, any Wemu, so they would have chance to get shot on target. Young Club Brugge, their last 8 games, no Mabono, they've scored goals at halftime. So Zomudi can't go anymore. But Arsenal has been able to prove, say, in their Champions League games, they limit teams in scoring goals, especially from minute 1 to minute 60. Into this game will be a very difficult game. But come and bet Africa. With performance at Arsenal and done in the Champions League against difficult customers, to say Slava Praha Homa, they were dominating, but Arsenal team could share in the terrain. I'm looking at an handicap of 1. Ubeche, that is Club Brugge 1. No, I call Arsenal straight win because Arsenal are coming with that attacking strength and Arsenal will get that win or more. Yeah. Goals in so one option I'll bet me for 1.5, 2.5 in this fixture likely to play because of Arsenal record a match here in the Champions League. Yeah, that is one last game. Newcastle and Bayern Leverkusen. With this fixture, I think so. The last time these 2 teams share was in 2002-2003 Champions League phase. Newcastle 8 Michel and now Newcastle airborne home in the Champions League. We're going into this game. Bayern Leverkusen. That surprising results from the last group phase against Manchester City. Share English side by 2-0. And they're facing another English team. And German teams against English clubs, that against English clubs. Those are some of the teams. German side in a whole lot. You be based on Bayern Munich and Dortmund. But apart from Bayern Munich and Dortmund, any other German club you be share English club and they've lost 2. In 4 games, they've lost 2 and draw 1 against English clubs. So this will be one game. Newcastle be born home on them. But Newcastle in their last 5 Champions League games, both team to score at the back ball. It's a Oko Newcastle. I want him say goals. both team to score an option that they will likely give you. Team is offended by Leverkusen in the last 6 games, or Taisha go after halftime. So this fixture, no, first half ni mo be both teams very defensively solid. They will try to make sure say Bibi and Timimko. I'm seeing the goal this game being more of a second half high scoring. It will be up high scoring. A second half likely. Newcastle so going into their Champions League games they mostly get to play even. To be our alternate even option, even option I'll bet me afa. I'm looking at the second half 0/1.5. A second half maybe both team to score, and also Newcastle win or draw in this fixture. I think the Newcastle in the Champions League performance was show, and now they are adding that to it. And they wisa and so about the team so add 1 or 2 experience to their setup.
Okay, I'm sure Real Madrid I think that is the most. So let's spend more time to discuss a Real Madrid game.
Yeah.
What does this match mean to Real Madrid? Now, we share the league phase table now.
Yeah.
We'll be about 5 matches. Arsenal in the first 15 points. PSG were 12, Bayern were 12, Inter were 12, and Real Madrid were 12 at the 5th position, and a Man City at the 9th. What 10 points. The moment Man City be channel automatically will be Real Madrid the free. The 5th position. So what does this match mean to Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso?
You see, it's a game that I believe there's a lot of pressure Alonso so. But it's Listo. If you take time and look at Real Madrid games this season, this is a team that in the first 14 games or winning with 13, and people believe that they were going to win the league this season.
Yeah.
So they're an answer. To me, I don't think the Madrid are far off so far this season. There are 1 or 2 things that team me say any balance in terms of how the coach wants them to press. You see, if always be hard. If a coach wants to play a possessive football and how coaching person on the ball, how we knew Alonso was playing at Bayern Leverkusen. That's how Opesa Madrid in born this is. There's a reason why when they went to the FIFA Club World Cup or started dropping a year, Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe was scoring. Last season, Mbappe came into the team. He was scoring for fun, and people believe that because Mbappe had a team named balanced. But yet, you see, the most important aspect in football scoring goals, and Mbappe was doing that last season, and this season was starting out Sanso man. If you look at Madrid team this season, Madrid fans be now because Madrid dropping some crucial points they are not too bad for me. They might be angry that especially in the La Liga. Set it off. Now Madrid Barca Babeli do by 4 goals. They believe that Madrid team, Barca team, Rafinha, Epria, Lewandowski, any top form, Lamine Yamal, that Lamine Yamal no money. So they believe that this was a season that Mbappe, Vinicius, and all these players and Alonso Abano, how they started the league, more drop it off. That is the thing. If you look at Madrid team this year, list Alonso just 3 games. I think to get more money, Atletico. Celta Vigo, and I think 1 match. Liverpool.
Yeah, in the Champions.
These are the only games of Molisu this season. And I think that now they are also having difficulties, especially in injuries. Now, Eda Militao also a so it's likely that Asensio and Rudiger, most of the games last season, they are going to play. And these are not the players that Alonso, according to how he wants to play. If you look at the Hoist Not 3 Bem of Bayer, he had a few decent games at the start of the season. But after Ekodu baby, the loads of pressure and how our teams, providing a support. Look at the number of times Trent about this season at the Amomo. Trent will be able to say defensively on shadow on solid. So anytime be able to military back will be an boy SEO. So to me, I think that Madrid team, they are not too bad of a team. As compared to City, no Maribon. If you compare Madrid team and City team now, I would definitely say that Madrid is a better side than Manchester City team no Maribon. So listen, pressure was Xabi Alonso.
Okay.
Sans and so many now wanting so Lusu game we be pamlizi. If Florentino Perez mo, listen. So much nasi. No, Musha Madrid team no. Omo the 2 I say, analysis, check data, with the number of games they might not blame the coach. Look at the game against Celta Vigo.
Oh, they might not blame the coach, Sessa.
No,
They are not giving the performance. La Liga and how many matches?
let me tell you something. Madrid team started somewhat dropping points, and things ever started very ugly for them when the board supported Vinicius Junior about say free El Clasico. You see, since then,
someone apologize.
Apologies when Vinicius be apologize.
Apologize.
Apologize. And that mention say no think on since then. You see, since then, when was Alonso even every game? Also dropping the game.
Yeah, say only keep
But they've been games. After that, there were games that are dropping.
And I make sure say, Listo, it doesn't change the fact that coach nearby. I shape Madrid team this season. The kind of players they didn't send comments I know this season. How many signings na Madrid here this season?
Yeah.
Apart from the
So if what you are saying is anything to go by, so I'm back the player ahead of the manager. It's a manager now resource in my own pamu.
That is what I'm gonna say. Results now you can say man. The game a bit the game against Celta Vigo like this. Look at the red cards. Any individual mistakes are players.
So
that is the players available, and that is what I'm saying.
So are you saying some players?
How many games they won? We should.
It's not how many games.
Yes.
They were leading Barca 10 points at some point.
That is.
They
were not leading Barca 10 points.
At some point, normally it's
Andrew 10 points.
Oh, let's still no. Say we lead you 7 points. What? Move 4 points.
Yes, I'm not saying say man lead Barca, but what I'm saying. If you look at coach, and Madrid statistics, especially this season.
Say all the statistics.
Like
at the start of the season, Obianim say matches where matches that they could run to.
What matches they could run to? Look at the number of games are almost how many matches? A games 13 games after the 14. They won against Barcelona. What are you talking about?
The first test there is a difficult game was against Atletico.
There is
and we saw how Atletico disciplined them.
7 matches. Only 2.
Let me.
What about 7 matches? We need 2. 7 matches.
That is
as a coach of Real Madrid. What about 7 matches? We need 2. I was saying.
And the fans are not even based on just results. They are based on the style of play in zone.
Madrid
because you could see Madrid they ball wingers the bench. Na center mid they ball right wings. We ball like you could see that the system is not working.
You are talking about center mid ball right wings. You see, what I'm saying is Madrid started the season very well. Those times are not more winning 13 games. More first 14 games, I'm winning more 13. And people were saying Madrid better Champions League, Madrid better La Liga. He was still using players playing at that wing position. He was using midfielders to play that fullback positions. The thing is, the team ain't balanced and defensive issues about the home this season. But now check it, the team they are coming to face. They are also not better than Real Madrid this season. If you look at the number of games Man City have lost this season, as at this stage compared to last season, the number of games are more winning position. You should be concerned, especially when you are Madrid player. But all the injuries and how the team is not balanced, and especially the performance of some of the key players are drop here, and also another concern. To me, I don't see Madrid losing this game because in as much as I say Madrid performance for me now. The Sunday's game on Monday, Celta Vigo boy, and they're the only gamer they've lost at home this season. And that game, when you can catch us, look at the red cards, and some of the individual mistakes players near costing team. There are some games that individual mistakes ever cost the team, and there are games that individual brilliance will win you the games. As far as Madrid so started this season, so to me, if you look at City team now, these two teams go into this game. Madrid will go into the game without Alaba, without Elder Militao. They'll go into the game without their right fullbacks, that is Dani Carvajal and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So the only available centre backs for Madrid, Asensio, any Branson in the Antonio Rudiger, also free injury by Enche, he doesn't have a lot of minutes on the tank. Now, then you also compare Frank Garcia. And you say Frank Garcia, Alonso doesn't like playing him. So if you have several, some couple of times say Yabo Alvaro Carreras as the left back. In this game, I don't see say Obebo Alvaro Carreras because Madrid and Manchester City, they operate more from the flanks because also the wingers touch the wide areas. I see say Obestati Federico Valverde as the right back, Asensio and Rudy Gabebo as the two center pair, then Alvaro Carreras as the best at it. The midfield position in there, I believe say probably Obebo against City, you say City be dominating midfield. So Obebo Aurelien Tchouameni, Obetiambo Kamavinga, then Abranta and Eddie Jude Bellingham. Ada Gule will start as the right winger, but when they are in possession, Ada Gule will come into midfield to help the team. Then no about Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe. It's a game between Mbappe and Erling Braut Haaland. This game, I see both teams scoring probably more than 2 goals in this game because Obia defense in here, the City defense no, check this is the number of goals they've conceded. Almost home defense and a liability that coming up against Vinicius Junior, one of the hot attackers in Europe currently. I believe that they will trail against Real Madrid. So Kylian Mbappe to score likely in this game. Erling Haaland to score likely in this game. The both teams to score likely in this. I see both teams scoring more than 2 goals in this game. At least both of the teams, City over 1.5, Real Madrid over 1.5. It's a game that I think is very, very difficult. If you look at the history of this game and the tournament that we are playing in, character, at that night, the big boys will have to live up to expectation. Vinicius, in your move there, it will be very difficult for Manchester City.
There are reports that say Kylian Mbappe a doubt for the game.
Mbappe.
Yes, Kylian Mbappe a doubt for the game. Then 2 right backs in the So obviously Valverde never caught right back.
So I think
Kamavinga Sopra.
Yeah. So I think I'll go in for a double chance for Real Madrid. I'll go in for a double chance for Real Madrid in this game.
Okay.
Yes, I think Alonso has not really had a balance with the setup. I didn't make us say so. The way they set up as a coach, as a particular system, or to some players, which is finding it very difficult to balance the whole thing. But I like the way Oba from the start of the season, FIFA Club World Cup, he wanted to instill his philosophy into the team. Baby night is Oba be more flexible, which is now affecting him as a coach. And I think Adebakwa Real Madrid fans they expect here want to see nice football, want to see the team win. And now nice football now they are not seeing in 7 games. They are not even getting the results they need.
We need 2. 7 games.
Yes,
need 2.
Until there will be pressure.
In that space, I'm Rayo, Vallecano, Echemu, Girona. You cannot pick 3 points against Girona. Eche. And Rayo.
That is one thing that the fans are looking at. But I don't think the sacking, we've been hearing rumors say if you lose the Manchester City game, they will let him go. And I don't think it will be that early. Real Madrid team, they give time. But they do when things go badly, now fans they question the board, the coach, they would make that rash decision. So everything is in same CCR. As of now, I think he has the available players to play any formation or person or boy in this world. Until go with the one you like. You will team be how the team need available players on the ball style. No? So you need to now switch to the Ebebo. But with Real Madrid team, you have the available players to now play how you want it. Do the selection for players. I'll feel so bet me about Boni. Say who keep player be with team no fit the style la. Obet me about from the bench. You who adia Mas Allegri or AC Milan. The style no born. It doesn't fit Rafael Leao. He comes from the bench every time. And no stop AC Milan fans from questioning him. He's winning games and then he's on top of the league. Fans need share results, almost share performance. So go with Adia Beboao, and with that, they would back you on any day against any player in the setup.
Okay. Right. I think the Real Madrid issue now has got to do with a coach who doesn't have balls. He was a fantastic player, legend of the game, but getting opportunity to coach a big club like Real Madrid, he abandoned a philosophy. He abandoned how disciplined a coach is supposed to be. And I think this is the biggest opportunity Obenya in his life. So I'm making any good use of it. Perhaps you join the Leverkusen money once more class. Clear. The reason why he was winning at the start of the season was the fact that now Jude Bellingham knew. And Jude Bellingham conundrum no, with Kylian Mbappe joining the team, and no ne cause Ancelotti Juma, because you've brought a big boy from Dortmund, huge potential and huge money, right? Oba no, now Benzema free team, so they deployed him as a false nine, and he did well. That is why they goes in there. So at that time they didn't have any number 9. Yeah, they didn't have any number 9. He was basically the false nine. Or only the running between the one go near there. Now Mako first striker the number. Mako first striker the number. Now you need to find a position for Akwese can have a issue now. Can have it by Chelsea. Chelsea in who position mon fan more. And to say coach ba no so coach. Mami man coach anymore because your height and everything. Kona coach anymore as a striker. And Arsenal the same thing. Afi player no believe is or a Balak and one combine no. Ozil combine no. Afi you not got to say no a target man. As a striker what they kona code anymore. That is exactly what is happening to Jude Bellingham. Ono onye number 8. Ono number 10 no bono is scoring number 10 nibi. Inti scoring number 10 you have to get a striker or you flexible or you dey or move or drifting no aba be shim or no ba no drifting. So there should be some understanding no. That is the team on 4-4-2. There no one bono at the account. Till such Jude Bellingham will return here no. Now this is what Alonso is doing. Or Bokema no mama other gula na o provide creativity as no number 10 rule. O piano the number yes o mebo number 8. No we pia Jude Bellingham mo say Jude Bellingham mo kobo number 10. And Jude Bellingham number 10 na obo. Ko betima den add goals. O betima movie to back baby o be movie akono. And why so na Kylian Mbappe movie kono. The first season no, right? There was no striker because na Benzema ko. So he was starting as a false 9. It's a there. Baby, I was saying, number 9 movie be no the movie echo on no she goals near there. That is why he scored a lot of goals. Then Oma Kofa number 9 aba on only movie baby or movie go. Na horn was saying number 10 no so be said Jude Bellingham also a horn also movie go because you are not expecting Jude Bellingham to be a creative player. He is not that type of a player. That is why England national team is having the same problem. And I'm telling you, it's a Real Madrid and to me and Piqué form. Or be contributed to Rita. He will be dropped unless Kupama and Piqué. Unless Kupama and Piqué. And to say, if you fall in that, say he's on the right track. And boy, no what Aston Villa no so there. Or your coach in any CCA. Tomato here. So one player helped me hold the whole team for 2 years. And at the time of prior, no, everything was flowing. Madrid was scoring, was doing everything. Now, Waba, you see them struggle. And you see, if you are facing teams like Elche, Girona, Rayo Mo, now say one you're dominant, one create chance and she goes. What it means in is they also what counter because more who frustrating now create chances no create decent chances. Say Real Madrid baller they don't create decent chances. Real Madrid don't create decent chances, especially when they meet Tima as a almost very rigid. They don't create chances. Create and players which is Rodrigo Mona as a money me hare. Adagula muno mweni mu hare. Omo match bi si ana me hwe say. Utim say you push Adagula the na wings. How do you expect Adagula to play wings? Na Jude Bellingham bo afi team ni yama nkoye no na e wo so mu yi ni frame. Ono na wo so mu yi ni frame. You understand? So if you are building a team and you don't stick to your principles and no say okay, you are a big boy near there but I was making sure the team need function and I'm saying say let him play the number 8. Because Jude is a very good tackler. So tell him that, look, At this stage, this is where I want you to be on a field of play. I don't need gold from you. A bar, fine, but I don't need gold from you. I don't need assets from you. Make sure that you help the number 6 to bring certain stability in the midfield. But this is a guy who wants to score because scoring front page. And it is worrying Madrid. And I started from last season. And the same problem now, Madrid. Media, I have no doubt in my mind, say Man City be kwa show. I have no doubt in my mind, say Man City be kwa share Real Madrid. And if that defeat happen now, of course, Real Madrid will have to take a decision. And look, I can't wait to see Alonso gone. I can't wait to see him gone because he's not truthful. And he's not sticking to the principles. And if you don't, as a coach, if you don't stick to your principles, or stick to your principles now, you know, sir, you did what you knew best. Alonso didn't back and a very mobile team, create a lot of chances, almost share a lot of goals. All of a sudden, so Real Madrid there, you're more way. Now you are going to change everything just to suit players. That has been Madrid problem till some far. Jose Mourinho be build a team. And Ancelotti be build it on it. Ebe man management. Or be adding a man management skill. Or no free one. Zidane buy. I just man manager. But now Mourinho abe Ramos was playing as a right back. Jose Nega said, no. With your height and the way you play your game, let me change your game. And no man be center back. And they had what? One of the best center backs in history. It was Jose Mourinho who saw the vision and said, no, you not play right back. Come to the middle. Only Pepe. Edu baby won't say Pepe Nkoye. And Oma Varane. At that time, Varane was around 19 years. Yes, Mourinho Penkolasem. But he realized that that time, Varane was ready to play. Varane and Sergio Ramos. Making sure Sokofa Kadira Edene Bejran. No masexual. That time now Madrid, Ejai, Makelele, Mane coach Chelsea. Almost Bray, almost Sophios, Arrow now to say Jose buy no de Sami Kadira there buy. And I show Mukofa Casemiro Mani Kolo no Porto. Then Benitez buy na fi then the boy. Luka Modric. Jose Mourinho and Casana Kofane buy. When he came, things were not all right. Or by January, at the end of the summer, almost say he's the worst signing at the time. But man, chance for me, sir. He gave them a balanced way. Then Bill Di Maria and we answer no Mukofa Bill didn't be the account. Or build the structure of the team. You need to be bold. My certain players to the extent that even goalkeeper na crown. It was Mourinho who says he's done. He is done. And politics by Mourinho no Musumane because he was done and no crown catch Romono. Or share between Benzema and Higuain. Who would have thought say a coach be show mutunu? Akase Benzema and trainer Higuain. Because at that time Higuain was giving Madrid the goals. But or share the long-term future of the club. No, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. If you have Cristiano Ronaldo, who is going to give you goals? You need to get a striker who is not selfish. A striker who is not obsessed with scoring goals. And no man Benzema try no man. You call it. Shape team ne kama. And I'm building on it. More mudi and I crash it. Building that you look at what you people are doing. You cannot have some midfielders. No. One thing about Valverde is that he can play at right back. Imagine, say, right back players, 2 players in your fit. You have Camavinga, Chouameni, Valverde, and
Jude
Bellingham. These 4 players. How are you going to? They put this money me Argentina. Bench. 4 key players. How are you going to balance them? I was so big bench. Because then when you come to the creative aspect, Morocco, any other goal, they are the creative players. Rodrigo, quality, solid player like that. Look at what you people are doing because of, and it happened at the time. Madrid, Lucy, Aya Robin, Lucy, Schneider, Munina, they all went on to be Ballon d'Or contenders at some point in their careers because they had a coach who had no clue to get the best out of these players, and they had to sack all of them. Media, we a coach now want to me stick to your principles. And I say, yeah. And you be show Man City be show. Right, nyame adoma otena yebesa aba na fe the live commentary dia bro watch along ti baby a wo bia wetima aba na ya hwe e wa ase na bibia atumi akoye